foundations of evilness today in the world, because it's a communist country. They rise people in camps to sell their organs, for example, when there's no God, there's no humanity. Okay, I mean, you just meat for them. People are just a bunch of pieces of meat. What they do in China to the Falun Gong, for example, what they do in China to the Muslim groups. It's a society that spreads death. Where there is no God, there is death. I believe that when I was at the Knesset, I spoke as a deputy speaker of the Knesset against these things in the Knesset, because I felt that this is my duty as a as a person who represents the Israeli state, the Jewish state. Israel has to be in front of the spiritual war. I'm not talking about physical war, but the spiritual war against this evilness. Instead of that, we're leaving it to others. We're afraid of our own mission, our own identity. Iran, of course, is behind the Muslim war against Israel, as I explained before, why they're joining forces. And the target should be Iran. I mean, who are the Hamas? Who are the Hezbollah? Who are the Houthim? They're all being sent here by Iran. So what are we waiting for? Unfortunately, the Americans, the Biden administration is doing everything not to hurt Iran, to join forces with Iran. Even though Iran is attacking America, America is putting today more pressure on Israel, much more pressure on Israel than on Iran. So we have to deal with that too. We have to deal with Iran. The Jewish people have something in their head. But physically, we're never the strongest nation. Yet, when we not turning our back to who we are, and when we fulfill what God expects from us, we always win. And that's the only way we can win. Look what's going on now. We're not winning a war against a terror organization in a small part of the land for almost half a year. Why? Obviously, we're doing something wrong from the very beginning.
What is your hope for Israel?
You see, we are the people of infinity. We always win at the end. Okay, there's nothing to do about it. We connected ourselves to God in a covenant that even if we don't do what we should, we get punished. But the covenant always remains, and He'll do His share. The only question is how painful it's going to be, and that depends on us. But the bottom line, the picture and the movie, yeah, the way the movie ends is well known. We are going to win, and we're going to fulfill our mission for ourselves and to the entire humanity.
Jews and Gentiles.
The entire humanity, yes. Jews and Gentiles, yes, definitely. So I'm optimistic. I'm worried of what's going to happen until we connect ourselves back to, until we become who we should. But I have no doubt that we'll win at the end.
Moshe, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'd like to thank my guest, Moshe Feiglin, who allowed me to interview him at his home in Israel. I enjoyed meeting him and his family. There's a sad footnote to add to this, however. You see, the grandson of Moshe Feiglin was killed in battle. His grandson was a member of the Israeli Defense Forces and died in the war with Hamas. And while that is heartbreaking for Moshe, it does not dim his prospects and his hope for the future of Israel. And certainly we all can learn from him that hope has to prevail, even in the most dire circumstances. Until next time, America, good night. God bless.
About the color of the pickup truck. Police said employees had seen a lighter colored truck leaving, but this new video clears that up.
He was actually in an older model red Dodge Ram. On scene, leaving at the same time as him, was a gray and white Dodge Ram, and we're unsure at this time if they were all together.
So Tyrone police are looking to identify this man posing as a police officer. He seemed very convincing to the employees, and Tyrone police say there's been some recent police activity at that massage parlor. The new video of the pickup truck also shows it's an older model red Dodge Ram. If you can help police identify this man, call the Tyrone Police Department. In Tyrone, Doug Evans, Fox 5 News. Ahead on News Edge at 11 tonight, we all know mail service in Georgia has not been great. Now it's award-winning. The dubious honor our state just received. Tonight, police are searching for a man who exposed himself to a woman and then performed a sex act. And that is where we begin tonight on News Edge at 11. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tom Haynes. This happened at the Petro Travel Center on Donald Lee Hollowell Road on Juneteenth. We want to warn you, this story is graphic in nature. News Edge reporter Joy Duke spoke exclusively with the victim, who says that she is traumatized, understandably, by this incident. Joy?
Yeah, Tom, that woman tells me she was just trying to take her husband some lunch. She's picking it up from the Petro Travel Center. She never imagined she'd find a man standing behind her, pleasuring himself, or that she'd be told it was a regular occurrence.
Locking eyes with this man masturbating. I didn't know how to react.
Sunday Gray has found herself reliving this moment for nearly 3 weeks now.
Like I said, it's taking a toll. Mentally, it's still right at the tip of my mouth.
The moment's a trip to the iron skillet inside Petro Travel Center turned traumatizing, and she caught a man in line behind her with his pants down.
I was shocked. I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated.
Even more unsettling, Atlanta police say employees who saw the man did not intervene and ultimately watched him walk out the door with his order.
After he did that to my wife, he still went and got some food before he left.
Robert Gray says when his wife called to tell him what happened, he immediately notified security and went to confront the man who'd gone to another gas station close by. He says despite him asking, they never called 911.
I run inside the store and I'm yelling, "Where is this guy at?" I said, "The guy masturbating on my wife." He says, "Oh, that guy is outside." I said, "What?" I said, "Why you didn't stop him?" And he's like, "Oh, he left the store."
The Gray tells Fox 5 he was stunned to hear a female employee later admit she and several other women who worked there had also been victimized by the same man in the last year. But his wife was the first to report it.
Like in the middle of the night, he did another call.
The couple tells Fox 5 they believe different actions should have been taken.
911 would be called because I wouldn't want anyone to feel the way I feel now.
They're talking to attorneys about a potential lawsuit.
It was something that they could have prevented.
We reached out to Petro's parent company for comment on what protocols are in place for an incident like this. We're still waiting to hear back. And again, this happened on Juneteenth. The Grays say after we reached out to police earlier today, they received an update within the hour, letting them know investigators were in the process of getting a subpoena for surveillance footage of the incident. No arrests have been made on this yet, Tom, but you can just imagine how uncomfortable that woman was just going in there to get some food and being met with that kind of behavior.
Well, we certainly hope they catch the suspect. We've covered these kinds of stories before, and you just can't wrap your mind around how or why something like this happens. Absolutely. Joy, thanks. New tonight, a woman says she was sexually assaulted and harassed while working for the Fulton County Clerk of Courts. The woman suing the county and Clerk Che Alexander. She says that Alexander and the county allowed a chief deputy clerk to resign with his pension and other benefits after he learned of the lawsuit. The woman says that the man sexually assaulted her in his office. The lawsuit claims that he harassed her for more than a year. The suit goes on to say that the county protected the man despite knowing about his behavior. We've reached out to the county for comment. An escaped inmate is back behind bars tonight, but not before police say that he killed somebody while on the run. 27-year-old William Coleman appeared before a judge this morning who denied him bond. Atlanta police said that Coleman stabbed the man to death in the Ansley Park neighborhood near the Beltline late Friday. Coleman was assigned to the Atlanta Transitional Center on
Right down the street.
Records showed that Coleman was serving time for robbery and simple battery when he escaped.
Based on the fact that Mr. Coleman is already on felony probation for criminal intent to commit a felony and robbery, which is arguably a violent charge, I do find that there is a likelihood he would reoffend if given a bond in this case.
According to the Department of Corrections, it took them 4 days to notify law enforcement that Coleman was on the run. Coleman faces several charges, including murder and aggravated assault. This afternoon, Fulton County prosecutors received a 48-hour extension to respond to a motion to remove the judge in the YSL RICO trial. The trial remains on hold while some defendants seek to have Judge Earl Glanville recused from the case. The issue stems from a meeting that took place between witness Kenneth Copeland, his lawyer, the prosecution, and Judge Glanville. Prosecutors now have until Wednesday at 5 p.m. to respond to the motion to remove Glanville.